In today's video, I will be showing you how to perform a socket weld modification onto a threaded floating ball valve. If you want to support the channel, please make sure you like and subscribe. If you have any ideas for future videos, please make sure you leave a comment down below. Thank you for tuning in to Everything Valves, the channel dedicated to bringing you everything valves. Thank you for everyone supporting this channel. If you enjoyed today's video, please like and subscribe for more valve videos. This valve has threaded NPT connections, which we will be modifying to socket weld. To perform this modification, we will be using a lathe machine. Before we put the valve into the actual machine, we want to remove the handle, open the valve, and verify dimensions of the socket weld. Once we have done all that, we will place the valve into our chuck, tighten down. Once we have tightened it down into the chuck, we will then begin to center the valve, which is a very critical part of making sure your modification comes out correctly and evenly. This is a very important step and requires years of experience. Once the valve is properly centered, we can then begin to slowly cut the threaded connections. This method allows us to slowly and precisely cut the threads out of the valve. If you perform this modification too fast, you can take the risk of overcutting and heating up the valve too quickly, which can then begin to damage the valve's internals, potentially causing the seats to melt or O-rings inside to melt. After we have cut a few passes, we will then take our air and blow out all of the shavings inside. You want to make sure you get as much of the shavings out as you can. It is important when performing a modification like this to leave the valve in the open position. This prevents any shavings from entering into the body cavity, which could then potentially damage the seats. After we have cleaned it out, we're going to take our calipers and we will take a quick dimension check to make sure we are not over. We're a little under, so we need to take another pass. So here we'll take another quick cut, another quick measure. Once we have hit the dimensions we need, we can then remove the valve from the chuck. We'll then rotate the valve, put it into the chuck, and perform the same procedure. Make sure we center the valve correctly. And then we can slowly begin to cut the socket weld into the valve's port. Once both sides have been completed, we'll then take our air, blow out the valve very well. We'll make sure that the valve is properly cleaned and that there is no debris in the cavity. Also make sure that your socket weld is cut cleanly and that there are no sharp edges or imperfections in the cuts. Then we'll take our handle, reapply our handle onto the stem, take our stem nut and washer, retorque them down. Then we take our protectors and reapply them. And that is how we perform a socket weld modification onto a threaded valve. I hope this video was helpful in showing you how to perform a socket weld modification. There are many different ways to perform this type of modification. This is the technique and practices we use. If you have any ideas for future videos, please make sure you comment down below. Thank you for tuning in to Everything Valves, and we'll see you in the next video.